Hey friends, my name is Kim Ludeman and I am a confidence connoisseur. I am passionate about helping women find freedom from the shoulds, ending body shame, and having a life and a body that you cherish. Today we're going to be talking about the 4 reasons that you may have sugar cravings and how to beat them. First of all, let's talk about what we mean when we talk about sugar. When we talk about sugar, we're talking about a carbohydrate that's pretty simple. So we're talking about fruit, candy, ice cream, cookies, chips, crackers, sodas, even sugary coffee drinks. These all have a lot of sugar in them and are typically what we crave when we're talking about cravings. So keep that in mind as we go forward. So the first one is emotions. Yes, emotional. A lot of times we use food, especially sugar, as a coping skill and kind of a way to numb feelings and avoid kind of delving into what's going on internally. For a lot of us, this is learned. For some of us, this has been taught and demonstrated throughout our lives. It can be kind of tricky to become more aware of emotions and actually start to feel those instead of grabbing sugar. This can be loneliness, it can be boredom, or maybe you're feeling sad. They're feelings that generally are unpleasant, so we move away from pain toward pleasure. And that pleasure we seek in food. It's immediate, it's usually pretty affordable, and it's available almost everywhere. So that's the first reason, is emotion. Number 2 is out of habit. A lot of us grew up having dessert after a meal. Maybe you have always just had sugar whenever you wanted it, especially when you were younger, right? Seems like the older we get, the harder it gets. But a lot of it is just kind of going through the motions. Maybe at 3 o'clock every day you have a sugary snack or a little pick-me-up. That's kind of that middle of the day, coming up on the end, where you just feel that drag. And so a lot of us reach for sugar, which plays into the third reason, being tired. Being tired will increase your cravings exponentially. Just getting a few hours of sleep, or even getting 8 hours of sleep, but not quality sleep, will increase those cravings, especially for any kind of carbohydrate. Carbs are a quick burst of energy once they're dissolved and ingested into the body. So your body's looking for quick sources of energy and knows that sugar is the place to get it. So when you're feeling sluggish, you're like, oh, I just need X, Y, or Z. It's usually because you're fatigued. So maximizing sleep is going to be something we're going to talk about too. The fourth one is moralizing food. And this is a huge one, you guys. We tend to lump food into 2 categories: good food, bad food. The problem with doing this is, 1, all food is equal. It's all food. It's all fuel, nourishment. It all takes on different roles. It's all equal. When you take away the moralization, the good, the bad, you take away the guilt and shame that comes with that. So for a lot of us, we tend to do things like diets, or we avoid bad foods because they're bad for us, which triggers that inner rebel that lives in your brain. I call it the teenager that lives upstairs. All of us have this little teenager, and anytime we use willpower, kind of makes the teenager a little bit angsty. So then we are just completely overcome with the desire to just break the rule. And so you go for the foods that are bad because we've created this kind of off-limits mentality about these foods. And as human beings, that just doesn't work. It doesn't. So these are the top 4 reasons. Now we have kind of a better understanding of where those cravings are coming from. But what do we do about it? So let's take it from the top. For emotions, one of the best things that you can do is practice awareness, especially around food. This is something that I have my small group experience members go through and track for a whole week. We look at your mental, physical, and emotional feelings about food. So awareness is key, and that's the first step to beating emotional sugar cravings. The second one is out of habit. This one can be a little bit harder, and it kind of follows on the heels of the first one as far as being aware. Having that awareness of the habit that you're engaging in and finding an alternative activity that you can do. So if you're used to getting a cookie from the vending machine at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe instead of doing that, you go for a walk. Or maybe you spend some time journaling. Or maybe you do, some jumping jacks. Anything that is different enough that it breaks that habit. And as you practice that, you actually rewire your brain to expect a different outcome. It's pretty cool. Give it a try for a week and see what happens. Let's look at the third one. Being tired. Guys, sleep is critical for everything. Everything. So making sure that you're getting quality sleep, that you're sleeping in a cool, dark room with a little bit of background noise. White noise app on your phone, a white noise machine. Those are great ways to improve the quality of sleep. You can also use an eye mask, earbuds, or earplugs if you're like my husband. I can't do it. I don't like stuff in my ears. Or you can use essential oils. There's so many different things that you can use to maximize good sleep. And then finally, moralizing food. This one takes a little bit of time because a lot of us have been trained to see food as good and bad. I mean, kind of like we're doing for 1 and 2, looking at the awareness of it. If you're finding yourself thinking that's a bad food, I shouldn't have that, that's usually a pretty good sign that you've got a craving going on. And so what you can do is start to practice that awareness and realizing that it's not a bad food. Is it going to get you where you want to be? That's up to you. And it's also about looking 5 seconds ahead of the craving. So what happens after you take that initial bite? Maybe 2. It doesn't taste as good. And chances are it's actually going to extend your cravings into the next day and furthering kind of that habit, that habitual pattern that you use. So by breaking that habit, practicing awareness, getting good rest, and realizing that there's no such thing as a good food or a bad food. Those are great ways to start busting through those sugar cravings and getting you one step closer to having that body and life that you cherish without feeling like you're constantly struggling or at battle with yourself. So if you found this helpful, and I hope you did, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel below. You can also check out my website, captivatinglyconfident.com, and join our Facebook group community. Search Captivatingly Confident in Facebook. Join us for great conversations like these, and I can't wait to see you next time.